a few weeks ago, I did a review of The Ultimates by Deniz Camp. And Deniz Camp's like, one of those like mixed race immigrant people that's being brought in as a diversity hire to Marvel right now. And he's an extreme woke leftist. He's one of those guys who's on that like free Palestine, anti-American imperialist ends of the leftist spectrum. He had a book back in the day for Image Comics, which basically was that as well as a big political screed. And I watched an interview with him before this came out where he was talking about how there's no such thing as cancel culture. He's like, I talk politics in my books and nobody bothers me about it. Well, it's because your politics are extreme leftist, Mr. Camp. Like when you're right wing, when you have anything on the right, you get blacklisted, you get maligned. These people have whisper networks and they attempt to destroy you. I mean, gosh, the big conspiracy theory out of the media and from Marvel and DC Comics, I mean, the things that they blame me for are insane at this juncture. I mean, I've seen it. Hi, Alex DeCampi. I know what's going on behind the scenes. Hi, Heidi from Comic Speed. I know what's going on. Rich Johnston. They are just livid. Heather Antos. I see you. I know you're watching my videos. But his Ultimates #3, to long story short, was a big screed about anti-white. The whites are hurting the indigenous people, replacing Hulk with a fat Polynesian woman in order to virtue signal. It was really cringe. This followed up on Ultimates #2, where the Ultimates show up. They kind of storm the White House and have to have America Chavez really be the real leader. America Chavez, one of the cringy replacement characters made by Marvel back in the day in this first round of woke entertainment. And Ultimates #1 was okay. I'll give credit where it was due. It was like a 7 out of 10 book. Building off of Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man universe. Basically what's happened here is this villain, the Maker, who's like this alternate Reed Richards, has built this reality where there's no heroes in order to do something nefarious. I don't know. And some groups of time travelers from other dimensions are trying to reset things and get people going and get real heroes into this reality to build up to some fight, I guess. It's really, really slow. There's too many books already. It's bloated. The side books like this one, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Black Panther, are just not worth reading. And it's gotten worse. So issue #4 does not follow up on any of this. And I realized that this is not actually a book. These are just side stories. So it's like if Ultimate Spider-Man's like an event book for Marvel. You know how they do those events for Marvel Comics? They do a miniseries, and then they have all these tie-ins. And the tie-ins don't really matter, but they feature all the characters and show that they're there. And then they get everybody to buy the tie-in issues to try to up the numbers of the event and try to make money off it. It's like a big grift. Ultimates is just tie-in books to that, is what I'm seeing. So they went heavy political in issue 3. It was obnoxious. They went heavy political issue 2. It was obnoxious. 1 was okay. And issue 4 is back to just like a vignette, like where, it doesn't really build into anything. And so these are just tie-ins showing what other people are doing during this. It's not Ultimates itself. It doesn't stand on its own as its own story. Deniz Camp's really failed. We're going to get into our review of this Ultimates #4 in just a moment. My name's John Delarose, everybody. I make my own books, and I always tell a full story. Lots of beginning, middle, and end. We crush it here. We build. And this is The Hidden Emperor, my graphic novel. It's a great sci-fi adventure story. It's a spy thriller. So if you like high-octane books where things actually happen, where problems actually get solved by the protagonists. I know. You'd think like in any kind of book that would be the case. Not in these. Not in the Ultimates, that is. We are bringing that back. So check this out. Support independent comic books. This is in the description below. We always deliver. We get things done. And we do it better than Marvel and DC. So thank you guys so much for the support. Like I said, in the description below. Back it today. And subscribe to our channel. Hang out with us here as we are building a wonderful, wonderful alternative community. So, let's get into this book 4 here. It's got a Doctor Doom mask on the cover. Now, Doctor Doom in this reality, is as you see, it's a tragic one-shot tale. Well, they already had a different kind of one-shot tale that, didn't tie into the one-shot tale before that, which didn't tie into... So these are just tie-in books. They are literally just tie-in books. And on top of it, they read like fillers. This reads like a backstory filler. So it reveals how Doctor Doom became who he was. And he changed from Reed Richards. So the Doctor Doom in this universe is Reed Richards. And so it turns out that there was this like back and forth, and it's extremely boring. It reads as backstory between like Reed Richards and his life as he's building things, and Reed Richards trying to create the Fantastic Four in this, ending up killing the people he loves by his failed experiments. Spoilers, I guess. And then he saw a young Reed Richards and interactions with the Maker. And it's a lot of like alternate fantastic. It reads like a what if Fantastic Four didn't happen and he became Reed Richards. That's all it is, a what if book. And it's just cringy. And you can see he's depressed, mopey Reed Richards. It's like Tom King's Batman. Depressed, mopey Tom King's Batman. I suffer from periods of extreme despair. During these periods, it is as if I am oppositely charged, lost in an all-consuming universe where nothing is possible. I call it my negative zone. Oh, stunning and brave, using Iron Man as therapy. I mean, this is not a comic book that anybody wants to read. These are not superheroes. This is not the Ultimates. You call something the Ultimates. I mean, gosh, Mark Millar did it the best. I mean, you remember back in the day when he did that grittier Avengers team, like in, that darker world, and it was just badass, and they drop a Hulk bomb. That's Ultimates, right? This is not what we were looking for in that kind of thing at all. This is Marvel Comics doing meandering, pointless stuff. They hired a political diversity hire writer to do it, and they're getting what they paid for. These are just tie-ins that barely service what's going on in Ultimate Spider-Man, which is honestly too slow by itself. It needs to start moving, even that book. But it's a disaster. Now, I don't know. I don't even want to read the Ultimates going forward at this point. It's like I'm now 4 issues in. Like the first issue had some interesting setup. Now we're going to get the weird diversity hire crap. We're going to get America Chavez. Now we get like a filler issue after 3 issues of random character setups that don't really tie into one another. Just a disaster. If anything, you got to wait for the whole Ultimates omnibus that's going to come out of this that they're really trying to push with the Jonathan Hickman story. There's just no point to reading it in single issue. Like I said, paired with the politics in it, it's just a complete disaster. Turning Reed Richards into a depressed, my negative zone is just super cringy, and it's not worth reading. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Please, back the Hidden Emperor. This is a great alternative. This is action-packed. It's quite the opposite to what they're doing there. Appreciate you guys for supporting indie comics. We'll be back soon.